Welcome to another episode of Mr. Therapist and the Counselor Podcast, where we discuss mental health and recovery topics. And our goal is to be vulnerable, honest, and raw to demystify the process of therapy. My name is Manny Romero. Jesse O.
This week we discussed the holiday as it's known as Father's Day, right?
Yeah.
It's Father's Day.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk about Father's Day.
Father's Day.
How, maybe compare it to Mother's Day. We're just going to talk about that specifically behind Father's Day.
Bro, sell it, bro. Sell it. Come on.
Man or bear. We discussed the social media discussion, or would you rather be with a man or be with a bear?
Dang, look at that.
We're going to talk about it all. Dude, does Father's Day get a bad rap? That's the question.
Yeah. Do fathers deserve praise?
Take Father's Day out of school. No,
Yeah.
all right. You told me to get hyped.
Yeah, it's good. That was good.
Thanks,
Good. Yeah. Now they're engaged. Now they're gonna watch.
Yeah,
we got them. Yeah,
fathers.
Remember to subscribe to the channel. If you get any value from the show, we're not only gonna drop some mental health topics, but we're funny. Jesse's a funny guy.
I'm pretty hilarious.
I'm a therapist.
He's all right. He's a therapist. Yeah. Take it for what it is.
Yeah. So you'll get something out of this, even if it is a laugh. And remember to share this with your folks on your page. Help us grow the show. We're depending on you. We love you. And remember, every time we do the recording, we get a little bit down on the notch with our wives. So support us.
Hey,
but yeah, man.
Happy Father's Day.
Oh, thank you, brother.
It's not actually Father's Day, but
it will be.
So yeah, when this comes out around that weekend, it'll be coming out on Father's Day. So
thank you, brother.
Happy Father's Day.
Thank you,
You
bro.
were a father before me.
I was.
That's right. I was new to the game.
You were. Remember, we were having a conversation, and you were like, or we were working together at a place we will not name, and we were having a discussion. You're like, dude, what, I don't know what to expect. Yeah. I don't know if you remember this, right outside the building. You were like, I don't know what to expect. I just don't know. I kept asking you, dude, how you feeling? He's like, I don't know how to feel.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, it's
Until
a unique feeling, right? Could you describe it to somebody? If a new father was going to be like,
Nope.
Tell me how it is.
I think I heard this common thing before I became a father. Was like, you'll know when you get there.
Yeah.
I think you have to really experience it. Even talking to people that don't have kids, there's a little of a disconnect because they just don't get it. It's kind of like when people that are single or even married and don't have kids, and they're like, I'm so tired. I'm like, get the fuck out of here with your tired. I was like, you got any kids waking you up in the morning, needing you for everything?
You ain't tired. You're just bored.
That's right.
Dude, I have we have some listeners, right? We have some people that know that we do a podcast. I feel really proud of the work we're building here. But I play soccer on Sundays, and a couple of the guys listen to the show.
Oh yeah.
And one. I remember one thing came up where me and you were talking about the man, right? It was either part 1 or part 2. It was a while ago. I don't remember, but I just remember this the other day. And somebody's like, oh yeah, you guys are getting a little gay on there, and I was like, yeah, because we're kind of being vulnerable with each other.
Jeez.
So and it wasn't like a very big confrontation, but it was sort of in a very sort of you guys are getting a little gay right there, kind of trying to be funny, But what do you think about that? Do you because even though it wasn't serious, there is a message being sent there, right? And it's almost I don't know, almost like this is hard, like being vulnerable with another guy, sharing that we appreciate each other.
Yeah.
I love you, bro. Even saying I love you, bro. That there is this connotation of that's a little gay. What do you think? What are your thoughts on that?
I think that that's an old school mentality for certain generations.
Yeah.
Specifically looking at vulnerability as being a question in your manhood. It's I as you said that, I was like, wow, I didn't expect this to come in my way.
Yeah.
So
This is some heavy banter.
It is heavy banter. Well, we had a podcast recently, and we were talking about hip hop. I'm not going to dive too much into that, but an old school hip hop, a way to really dismiss somebody or put somebody down was to call somebody like gay or something even more extreme or homophobic, right?
Yeah.
So, and it was like the worst thing you can call somebody. Sitting here in like 2024 and just trying to be a better person and be more present on how words impact people. It's just I recognize it in men. It's a way to like just kind of like put us down.
There's homophobia.
Most definitely there's homophobia with that. It's always the best way to take a crack at somebody's manhood is like to question their sexuality. I think
it also talks like it shows in a discomfort with being vulnerable and being honest. And
I had this client not too long ago. I had this client, and I said to him about being intimate. And I was like, you're being very intimate, and he got very squirmy in his chair. He was a guy around my age, actually, maybe a couple years older. He's a Teamster. I think it's just I remember some of his background, but I mentioned this being an intimate setting, and I remember how like uncomfortable he was with that word because intimacy to him was like intimacy was with a woman. It couldn't be with a man. And he didn't go too deep into it, but I could tell like to be intimate with a man was maybe in questioning his sexuality. So, but intimacy is what we have on this podcast.
Yeah,
we have a close, like intense, like relationship and conversation. So, it's just I don't know. I get it. It's a frame of like an old school frame of reference.
Yeah,
but to get with times like. That shit's kind of out of date.
Yeah.
Be present. Like, just because, I guess every time I'm with my daughter, am I being gay?
Yeah.
Or am I just trying to like be open?
There might be some people though. If,
for sure, I get it.
Say if your daughter like wants to paint your nails and you let her, right? Like some people might feel uncomfortable with that.
Right. I mean, it's really a lot of it is your education, your presence. I remember, if you want to talk about that word, like there's an old UFC fighter named the Iceman, Chuck Liddell, and I remember he used to like paint like his toenails, right? And Chuck Liddell like is probably he's a pretty tough guy, pretty straight man, but I think it puts people in a corner, makes them feel safe with something they're very uncomfortable with. So when things are getting deep, it's just like
Bad Bunny paints his nails too, right? Bad Bunny.
Fucking paint all 10 of your fucking fingers. I don't give a shit if you do or not. Like I want to to me being vulnerable is important, and tapping in. I guess if you want to see your feminine side, then great.
I'll go beyond that. I think being vulnerable is a need. It fills a need that we have as human beings, and I think it'd be really fulfilling to learn how to be vulnerable with people, because it breeds this door for acceptance. We all want to be accepted. We all want to feel like we're okay.
Yeah.
And I think vulnerability is the only way to really get through to it and actually feel some of that. But there's a culture with guys, right, where it's like vulnerability is just like Xing on that. Yeah.
I think I had like an unprescribed or undiagnosed ADHD moment, but I brought up the hip hop thing because I was thinking about Eminem, right? Like, and I remember how he would make a lot of homophobic comments in his like hip hop songs.
Hip hop still does that, though,
it
right?
Still does that. I think there was, and referencing a past show too with the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef, there was things brought up with like, question sexuality because it's an easy for men. I think a lot of times, and more old school mentality, it's an easy way to take a shot at somebody. Like I said, it's question. But like Eminem used to do that a lot, and it's really seen as a negative a lot. I think that's why Eminem probably still does get a lot of flack. Like I was really proud of like I idolize him in the sense of his sobriety. But there's like an old school mentality with hip hop of like using that type of language to put people down.
Yeah.
So where it's kind of like I feel like there's got to be some growth with that. So if somebody said, "Oh, you're being gay because of whatever," I'd just be like, "Okay, it's just it's a derogatory thing, and people sometimes are once again uncomfortable with there's a homophobia and people being gay. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. That was a fucking intense banter.
That was
bro.
good, though.
I thought you were just talking about like playing sports or something. Kickball. Ole, 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 ole. Let's talk about being gay. I'm like, what? Holy shit! All right.
Do you want to save the trendy question?
I want to
do it now for banter now, or do you want to save it?
No. Let's do it right now.
Okay.
So, do you know what gray rocking is?
Yes, because no, I don't.
Have you heard this term in therapy?
No, actually, you introduced it to me.
Yeah. So I want you to look it up. But
Okay.
so I was actually, watching some reality television, and there was a person on there getting out of a unhealthy relationship. Ariana Maddox, what's up, girl? She was getting out of an unhealthy relationship.
It's a little flirty there, bud.
No, it wasn't. It was just a shout out. But she got out of a relationship with somebody who was, and I'll do quotations. We talked about the word of being a narcissist, and narcissistic personality disorder. But she was labeled this person as being narcissist, and he was very manipulative and cheated on her in their relationship. But she said she was going to therapy, and she was using the gray rocking technique.
Okay.
And I was like, what does that mean? And I want you to clean it up for me, but gray rocking for me is somebody that was in a manipulative relationship with somebody, and as a way to respond to that, they are almost unattentive, uninterested in what they have to say. They're almost like stoic in their presentation, where they're not going to feed into that manipulation. They're not going to give them any leeway to let them into their lives.
Yeah.
What does it say? What is gray rocking from your understanding?
Yeah. So from mine, well, from Google, gray rocking is a technique used to divert a toxic person's behavior by acting as unresponsive as possible when you're interacting with them.
I dug a little bit into this theory.
You nailed that, dude.
Huh?
You nailed
Thanks,
that.
man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. I read into it a little bit because I didn't see a lot of information on the sense of success with this.
Yeah.
I think this is a fairly new technique, and I think we talked about recently how some therapy can be outdated, and there people are trying to look for different ways to improve the field, just like anything, right?
Yeah.
Anything outside the box. So I don't know how effective this can be. It does you avoid conflict and confrontation with an individual that might be just feeding into that.
Yeah.
So, but I'm just curious.
Well,
you haven't really heard of it too much.
I haven't. If I guess from first glance, I got to look into it a little more. But at first glance, it feels very surface.
Yeah.
It feels like it's more about like how you're appearing to others versus like.
Not breaking in front of other
Yeah,
people.
exactly.
Okay,
Yeah,
I can see
you know.
that. You're like, I'm not going to feed. I'm not going to show emotion.
Yeah, which I'm actually very good at doing that.
Yeah.
But then on the inside, like I can kind of like be like, oh, that really hurt. Yeah,
The big reveal right
so
here is that
mad.
Manny is an AI robot.
I am an AI.
Episode 100.
Mr. Roboto. Da, 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 da. I messed that up.
It was really good, man. It was really good.
Yeah, but yeah, that's gray rocking.
Yeah, there was just something I heard that I was like, I never heard that terminology before.
That's cool.
And I recognize people. We've talked about avoiding conflict and how most people do not like conflict.
Some people might like. I feel like if I were to, if my wife were here, and we were to be like, would you be down to do some gray rocking? She'd be like, no, I'm not going to be fake. So some people would see this probably as being
Right.
fake.
Would you say emotionally you're more internal than external? Like kind of you said you are kind of gray rocking. You don't show your cards. You're good with that.
Yeah. Like I'm very good at like giving you like giving you this stoic person.
Damn.
But like if something hurt me on the inside, it is internal, but it's not unhealthy. Like it can be unhealthy sometimes because if something really bugged me and I won't say anything and I'm really in pain and I'm just putting myself through something, then that's shitty, right? But I think I use it as a strength. Like if someone says something that triggered me, it kind of hurts, but I kind of check in. I'm like, was that my perception or was that real? Was that so? I think it's a healthy version of gray rocking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
I'm very external.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh, you are. Yeah, you are.
Yeah, you could tell.
We talked about your size. Like, oh.
Yeah, the psychological size. You read my mind. I was thinking about that, even though, like I said, it's a good thing that gets it out. But no, I tend to like if I don't like something, I really do take it. I analyze that when I'm working with clients. How I'm like, okay, don't make it too obvious. Like this person sucks right now and is bothering the shit out of you in the most clinical way possible. But like, it's not showing. Beat 'em up. But I wanna. It's teetering on like I want to really show them like you can be open with your emotions, but also don't show. You can't give them everything. I think I've said that before as well. Yeah. So thanks for looking that up. I was just curious about that.
That's why we got the computer here.
Yeah, I know.
I feel we get more advanced every time.
Yep.
Can I bring up the question?
Yeah,
the
do it.
question? Okay, so I prepared you for this, but so we have I wanted to talk to you about a friend of mine. Honest.
Oh no. What's going? We'll do that.
That's what I'm saying. You want to? I
No,
asked you. I said, "Do we bring that up in the banter?"
You're like subtle shit.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like,
bring that up in the banter. Okay, we're going into it.
So really,
Yeah.
Can we talk about how you checking in today?
Oh yes. I'm going zen, bro. I'm going in.
Okay.
I had this client a long time ago that transferred over from. We were working in treatment, so it was like a community of therapists. And so sometimes a client, for whatever reason, would switch therapists, whether it was not a good fit or maybe it was their second time coming into treatment, so they put him with a different therapist.
Yeah.
And so I had this client who before had a different therapist. And I remember just exploring that relationship they had with their past therapist. They were like, yeah, like every time I go in there, this therapist would be like, all right, put everything, like leave everything at the door, come in here and just, how are you checking in today? And so he would get into this sort of meditative state. So that's what I was doing.
Deep,
Sorry, yeah.
Deep cut from the history of
cut.
Mr. Therapist.
But how am I checking in today? A little. I'm settling in because I feel like we just had a mini crisis averted here with our computer and our laptop, which I haven't fixed yet. Technical difficulties.
All right.
My life is a technical difficulty, man. It's hot in here, dog. Is it hot in here?
Checking in today.
Yeah.
How you checking in? So we did your checking in?
Yeah. So a little chaotic because our computer was about to die. So, but I feel like I'm gathering.
You're sweating.
Am I scrambling here? Yeah. I'm a little out of sorts. That's how I'm checking in today, buddy. How about yourself?
I'm checking in today. I don't want to say the word good, but before.
Why?
What do you mean why?
But that's how you is. That's how you is.
How much caffeine did you have?
Just one.
One caffeine? What's that mean? One sip of caffeine?
I had 2 shots of espresso.
1 gallon of caffeine? Oh my gosh. This guy's gonna unravel in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No, I'm in a healthy spot today.
Are you?
Feeling maybe the heat of June. So.
Oh, that's probably why. Dude, June gloom though.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I'm
in a good place.
Pretty good place here.
Good.
To talk about what we're gonna discuss on the old time sessions today. Hi, my name is Mr. Counselor Jesse.
Dude, you totally avoided.
What? My checking in?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
You said I don't want to say good.
Oh well.
But I'm good enough to discuss the topic.
I'm good. I just said that. I said you're just not paying attention to me today.
Yeah.
That's all. I feel good. I feel like I'm in like a really good place.
Oh, good.
And I'm like, I use the word content because I think that's
gotcha.
In this moment in time, in this space, like I feel safe. I'm interested in the topic that we're going to talk about today. Hopefully our viewers are interested in it because it is time sessions, everybody. Mr. Therapist and the Counselor, Jesse O. We're going to talk about Father's Day.
That was like The Rock.
I know, man.
Father's Day.
What is when you think of, because we're so musical here on Mr. Therapist and the Counselor, and music does play a big part in our mental health. When you think of Father's Day, what song do you think of first? On the spot. Now I know I'm more intuitive with the music thing, so.
Yeah. I don't know if this is your answer you're looking for here, but
no, that's not anything. I just want to know, what's the first Father's Day song that comes to mind?
My daughter's Father's Day song that she sings on Father's Day.
She has a Father's Day song?
Yeah.
Sing it.
I was just singing it. Father's Day, Father's Day. It's a very special day with a great big hug and a kiss from me to you. Don't you know I love you too? I totally botched that, by the way. And
you didn't sing that with a lot of conviction. You're a little nervous.
Because I was I wasn't.
Yeah,
I didn't have the. I didn't have the lyrics. I made up those lyrics. I forgot what the song was. Sorry, babe. But that's the one that comes up.
So when I think of fathers,
yeah,
I know you wanted to ask me what song I think.
I was about to, yeah.
Thank you, Mr.
I said I'm sorry, Mama. I never meant to hurt you.
What song is that?
Eminem.
Oh no, I was thinking.
Cleaning out my closet.
First, I thought of "Father of Mine," which is by a band in the '90s called Everclear. And it's kind of about a father not being present in a person's life and leaving the son to grow up on his own without a father figure. And then I thought about Cats in the Cradle, like that father that's always working and doesn't have like time and priority for their child. My point is though is like a lot of these Father's Day songs or songs about fathers. I think overall there could be a really negative connotation with Father's Day. I think at least my perspective is this. I think Mother's Day is a lot more celebrated than Father's Day.
For sure, dude.
And I could totally understand why that is in my own personal experience.
Why is that?
People have problems with their mothers as well. They have mom issues, right? But I think I hear more
a fine line here, bud.
I hear a more perspective of dad. I had daddy issues in comparison to mama issues.
Sure. Yeah, that's true.
I think if you hear daddy issues and then you hear like I was a mama's boy, it's just like you hear those things. So one's more negative, one's more positive, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that or not?
Yeah. I think that Mother's Day is more widely celebrated, and there's a little more celebration around Mother's Day than there's Father's Day.
Yeah.
I also think that we're in a day of age. I don't know if this has always been this way, but we are in a age right now where I feel like father or men are kind of getting beat down a little bit, just in general.
How about this?
I don't know if that's tied into this. But
it is. I mean, we could talk about that. Something recently on social media that became a very like an open discussion. It was a question. Do you want to say what the question is?
Yeah, bro. That's my topic. Don't be introducing my topic.
I was setting you up for success.
No, sorry.
Yeah.
I just felt a little insecure in that moment. So, yeah.
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
Is that Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yeah. Who is your daddy? Get to the chopper. I used to think I used to do it better, Arnold. Anyways, back to
you do a good job.
So you said you had a buddy.
I had a buddy, Elio Murillo.
Now, he did not come up with this initial prompt.
No.
He commented on it, right?
on it.
Talk about the question. Share the question with the audience.
There's a popular question going on around right now.
It hit the old TikTok.
Yeah, hit the old talk and the threads. And so the question is, if you were lost in the woods, I think it's a question for women. If you were lost in the woods, would you prefer there to be a man or a bear to guide you, to help you? And so like I guess he was commenting on this question, and he said, this question is just another way that...
Hold up, let me freeze you a little bit right there, though, because I think you're missing out on important details. So this question was prompted initially, I believe, on TikTok, and I think the response that was relayed was that, what kind of bear?
What? Oh, okay, yeah. What kind of bear?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So they'd ask what kind of bear, which, like, once again suggests, like, the fears of, like, I could be safe with a certain type of bear.
Yeah.
But with a man,
I'm not going to be safe.
Yeah, I'm not going to be safe. Like, if there's a question of, like, who the man is, like, I'd rather be with an animal.
Yeah.
So then your friend, he brought up...
Let's clean that up. Let's redo that. Let's clean that up. Can we do that? Yeah?
Yeah. Can you take it?
Yeah.
All right.
So you just give me that context. That was great, dude. I love that, dude.
Thanks, bro.
All right, so I have a friend, Elio Murillo, who commented on this very popular question out right now that is on the TikTok. And the question is, mainly for women, if you were lost in the woods, would you rather be with a man or a bear? And I guess the responses that they would get back is what type of bear, right? Mm-hmm. And so just symbolizing that you might feel safer with a bear than you would with a man.
With an animal, yeah.
Yeah, so safer with a bear than with an animal?
No, yeah, I'd rather be safer with an animal over an actual male, a man.
Yeah, so my friend commented on this, and he said...
he got some hot heat,
got some hot heat on this, but he was like, I think this is another representation of how guys are getting put down right now, how the males are like kind of getting shit on right now in society, and he got a lot of heat for that. I think just for, sounding insensitive, which he acknowledged. He was like, you know what? There was a part of me that didn't acknowledge that, a lot of women have been hurt by guys. And so I understand that is what this is communicating. But he kind of felt defensive a little bit.
You want to defend this
moment.
Person?
Who?
Your friend.
Yeah, I'm defending. I don't want to like crap on him, but like, yeah. He wrote a blog on it and everything. Okay. So yeah. But, but it's just interesting because we're talking about this topic about like how fathers kind of get a bad rap. Men in general kind of get a bad rap right now.
Are you okay with that? Like, are you okay? How about this? I don't want to go lean onto the question too much, but are you okay that like Mother's Day is more celebrated over Father's Day?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I'm definitely okay with that. I don't think it's a competition for me in my eyes. To be honest with you, I don't
Please.
like being celebrated on Father's Day that much.
Why?
I don't know. I don't think I just maybe it's just I don't want to be celebrated because I don't think a father. I don't know. I have no idea why. That's a good question.
Can you?
There's a couple. Yeah, I can try to elaborate. Like in the moment therapy
I don't think.
processing
But
right
you
now.
said right now, as
Yeah.
a therapist, you said I don't think a father blank. What do you mean by that?
Okay, what do I mean by that? I don't think
You're not on the soccer field here,
being
right?
a
Let's get all
yeah,
vulnerable.
yeah, no, I don't think being a father. I don't know. I think it's something that I gotta do, and
Okay.
and I don't think that I think the reward is that like it's my identity, and it's not something that I'm trying to like showboat and say like, hey, I'm doing this better than you are, mom. You know, like so. Yeah, so that's where I'm at with that. Yeah.
I believe the most important thing I'll ever be is a father. I think that's probably to me
Yeah.
the most important title I've ever had in my entire life.
Yeah.
And I fully believe that with all my heart because I think that for those who don't have kids out there, maybe it's just turning out. But like the moment you become a father, I think there's a sense of purpose that you've never experienced in your entire
Yeah.
life. You have an opportunity what maybe others didn't give to you.
Yeah.
I had an absent father, and I'm not here to like bash him this Father's Day at all. But with that being said, I think that I had an opportunity to like, yeah, do something right.
Yeah.
And not saying other people before me did something wrong. We're all gonna make mistakes as fathers,
We're
right?
all gonna make mistakes.
Yeah, so I think that it's given me a motive and a perception to look at all kinds of different things that I never had before,
Yeah.
and it's changed my life, I believe, for the better.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great, and that's your drive to be there for your daughter.
With the Father's Day thing, like I recognize that too. I think when Father's Day is, it's like it's nice. I think it's cool. I'm like, oh man, like, and maybe a few years down the way when my daughter's like, hey, it's Father's Day, I might be like, oh, this is really sweet and special, and like, she's paying attention to me, so that's super cool, right? But yeah, I don't mark it as like I remember the first Father's Day, and it wasn't like I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. Like it was like a cool thing. Like I'm on the calendar now, right? I got a day, But it's kind of I think almost
part of the club.
Yeah, I think it's part of like the holiday mentality. Though as you get older, at least my feeling is that like I get birthdays. I don't get as hyped as I do for birthdays. Now saying like I've only had like a couple Father's Days, so like actually yeah, I've only had a couple of them, so. Maybe I should be more excited, but kind of like to your point, I get what you're saying. Like this is my role. Like you don't have to like celebrate me for like doing what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
Be responsible.
Yeah.
Show this young person like how to be an adult.
Yeah.
To grow up. You
Yeah.
know, like so.
Yeah, and I think there's different types of people out there. I mean, some people I'm sure love being celebrated on Father's
That's
Day
great.
and want to do what
Yeah.
they want. There's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with it at all.
Something that I do feel more passionate about though on Father's Day is to celebrate fatherhood. You know what I mean? Like maybe like elevate what fatherhood is and maybe get people excited around the idea of being a dad.
Yeah.
Because I don't think there's a lot. I feel like being a dad is being a parent is hard, right? So not comparing dad and motherhood, but being a dad is hard. It's not you it challenges you. You're not going to do what you want to do all the time. You have to think of other people. You have to provide. You have to guide. You have to put yourself, kind of second, right? And so it's not a popular thing to do. Right? It's not like going skydiving, getting drunk with friends, right? So
getting drunk with friends and skydiving.
Both, yeah. But I think I want to celebrate the day because I want people to be excited about being a dad. I'm a family values man, dude. I think we should all reproduce and grow families that are healthy, that are
Johnny
strong.
Appleseed over here.
Yeah, dude.
Planting so
Shoot.
things can grow. So, I would say real quickly on that bear versus man thing. Like, Listen, guys, fathers, men,
Yeah.
yes, culturally, society, we've created this narrative that men aren't really seen as good people sometimes, and the way that we treated women. But listen, if you take that real personally, then yeah, take it personally and see what you could do with that. So like, the fact is, like, I recognize, like, being with like an animal. I mean, it's a rough concept, right? Like, wow, you'd rather be with an animal than over me. But you have an opportunity to be like, take it on the chin in the best way possible and go, how can I be a better man?
Yeah.
I realize that to be the best father, I also have to be the best husband and be the best man I could be. So, and I'm not always those things. I don't think those things that I just, besides being a good father, like it encompasses all kinds of types of relationships you have with women, you have with your wife, you have with your significant other, you have with your partner, if that's a male partner, whatever it is. So like, I think it's a good opportunity to really look at yourself. And
Starts with you.
It does start with you. So
I think that oh, damn, dude, I had something good, but you kept talking. I don't know what it was. Oh, dude,
I can do that.
I know. I forgot. I was like,
Dang,
you said,
I forgot something too.
you
I want to
said
say
something.
Who's gonna say it first?
Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Yeah, no, I'm 100% on that. I think Father's Day, celebrate fatherhood, celebrate this idea that like you're growing a family. And there's a lot of cool things to get excited about with that. Oh, what I was gonna say was that like we gotta stop looking at things so black and white. Like if there is a narrative out there that like dads suck or that like men aren't good, like that, it's not every guy. There's no possible way that every dad is bad, that every guy is bad.
No.
And so I think it's maybe the onus is on each of us to speak up when you do see a good father or when you do see a good man do something great, and talk about that and share that and celebrate that, because we got to shed more light on that.
A key factor that with being like a good father, and we are fathers to daughters, so we represent the male role model for what they're going to see that men are.
Yeah.
If it's in relationships, how they interact with other people, which I feel the weight on my shoulders getting a little heavier because, and once again, this may be something we will talk about, continue to talk about, but like the being like overly self-aware on things. But I recognize like how I treat the woman that's in front of me will be a model for like how a man should talk to my daughter. And these are like important keys to just, be aware and practice like a good, like I said, a role model for your child with that. And this could be the way with you if you have a son. And I can't speak on personal experience right now on that, but like it's in the same thing. Like, what kind of man do you want your son to be? These are important things, contributing factors to the future of. I heard this the other day that like, sorry man, I think I cut you off, but like, being what you're doing with a son is in some ways you're finding your replacement. You're finding someone, suggesting also, we're going to die one of these days, but like hopefully outlive our children. But like with our son, we have an opportunity to go, hey, this is who I am as a man. This is my weaknesses and these are my strengths, and introduce him to that and help him grow so he could be stronger. He could be a better man, be a better father, be a better husband. So
legacy,
better friend. Yeah. So, but,
did it happen again?
What?
I was gonna say something. I lost my train of thought. What's going on? I'm going
quiet.
crazy. No, it's not your fault. It's mine.
But yeah, so Father's Day is coming up. It could be, just like Mother's Day, Father's Day can be a trigger for a lot of people.
Totally.
I remember, personally not like being as involved on Father's Day, and at times in my life, I think it was kind of like a confusing day for me.
Yeah.
Of like, I have one. I don't know if my relationship is so great with this one,
Right.
but I have the one father, and
Right.
you could have more than you could have a couple daddies.
Right.
I know you want to go with something awkward with that, but I won't let you do that. I see your
Why,
eyeballs, bro.
dude?
I see your mind.
I'm trying to remember what I forgot.
I'm talking a lot so you can remember it. But
I got it.
You got it?
Yeah, keep going.
Okay. But with that being said, with the idea of now I fucking lost it. Holy
Shit, I
shit.
forgot too. No, just kidding. No.
This is the Forgot Me podcast, dude. Holy shit.
So one thing I want to say, I think I don't celebrate myself during Father's Day because
Okay.
I'm thinking about other, like my dad, to celebrate my dad, and
Yeah.
my wife always wants to celebrate me. So it's an interesting dynamic. Is I'm like, okay, I'm always preparing for, like, we should do something with my dad, but then I'm a dad, but I feel like it's not my time yet.
Yeah, you're new
Like
to the
once,
club.
yeah, once,
Yeah.
like let me get my gear, my what do you call it? Like prove myself, or like get you put in your years, to be able to get celebrated. But what kind of what kind of like mental health specific challenges do you think fathers face? And maybe it's a better question to ask you, like, what kind of mental health challenges do you face when it comes to being a dad? What kind of insecurities come up for you? What kind of shit that in the realm of being a dad is kind of hard for you?
Well, it was most definitely a true like an adjustment that first year. I thought I lost a lot of myself, and this might sound a little negative, but I did. I lost myself a little bit because, as I said, this is the most important thing that I'm ever going to be a father,
Yeah.
and that almost took away like this idea of like, well, I'm just a father now, right?
Mhm.
Like I have to be a father. So other things to me were like, oh man, I'm like, I don't know what I am right now. So
Yeah.
I lost my identity a little bit. So mental health wise, obviously there's anxiety and some depression with that. Yeah, just a loss of.
Did you have anxiety and depression going through the transition of becoming a new dad?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know there's anxiety and doing everything right and not screwing up and being the best, once again, representation of a man for your daughter. Even though
Yeah. I
she's
like that.
she's
Not
not
screwing up.
she's not remembering all that shit though. She can't see it yet,
Yeah.
right?
So one of it you just mentioned, like one thing fathers struggle with is anxiety about messing up their kid,
Yeah,
like
right.
screwing up as a dad, failing as a dad.
Right.
Yeah.
And
What?
then,
Yeah. Go ahead.
no, and then I was just trying to more lean on the general like depression of that. And that was more of just like, and then that could tie into the anxiety of just like, I'm not doing a good enough job. I've seen a lot of these memes online about like the idea of Michael Keaton. Speaking of Batman, the OG Batman, but Michael Keaton said like if there's one thing that you'll ever do in your life is it's more important. It's more important than anything is like spending time with your kids. Like this is not exactly what he said, but he was saying like
Don't misquote him, dog.
I will misquote him right now. Shout out to Michael Keaton. I love Michael Keaton, man. He used to be my favorite actor. He's still a great actor. But he just said like whatever you do in your life, like your kids are always going to be like that most important thing, I think. And then like the idea of like work is, you feel like work is so fucking important, right? But are those coworkers, we're not Michael Scott here, like, or are those coworkers like going to be there in like 20 years?
Identity, right?
Yeah.
Our job sometimes it can be our identity.
Yeah.
Especially if what you do is a profession, right? It's not just like a 9-to-5 job that like you go to. Like if you've studied, you've gotten your credentials to become a drug and alcohol counselor. You're committed to that environment. It's not just a job you're passing by. Yeah, you can over-identify with your job, right? And if you're doing well at work, you're doing well at life. If you're not doing good at work, then like you're not doing good at life.
I mean, we basically talk about once again the corners of our like self-esteem, cornerstone of our self-esteem. A lot of times is based on like financially how much money we're bringing in, instead of like what we're contributing emotionally to our child. I was gonna ask you like the idea of like, is it better to be there physically, or let me say this question: is it better to be there more physically present or more mentally present for your child? And this might be like not a good answer for any of that. Do you think there's one? If you're going through whatever, is it important to be there physically, or like what's more important?
Probably, I mean, both. Both are
right?
important. Yeah, both are
Yeah,
important. And then what you prioritize is probably what you haven't been doing, right? Because you can't be there 100% physically and 100% emotionally all the time, right? Because you got a job, you got problems, you got stuff you go through. So yeah, you're gonna not always be there in those aspects. But when you notice yourself lacking in one area, then you work on stepping that up. So the importance of it changes, I guess, based on what you've been putting in.
I'm gonna take a tough stand on this one. There, I think it's more important to be there mentally than physically. I work with a lot of people that feel like if they just show up at the end of the day and they're present and they're sitting in their chair after their long day and having a drink. Well, I was around there for my child. I was present. I see so often like people. My father was there, but he wasn't mentally there. He was mentally checked out. So, I mean, I guess the question also is like, would you rather get shot or would you rather get stabbed? It's important to be both, right?
It's important to get shot and stabbed?
No, I mean, like, what would you rather get stabbed or would you rather get shot? Like, neither, right? Both are going to leave a scar and a wound, and it's going to hurt. So, but I challenge you, if you can't be there physically for your child, for your daughter, for your son, try to be there as mentally as much as you can.
Right.
I had to quarantine for my daughter for like 5 days because I got sick recently, and I just made sure like anytime I got to see her in the hall, I'd be like, I would, I jumped right in there, like more definitely physically because I was missing out. I wasn't present with her, but like mentally, man, the mental concept of like if you think you just, if you get home and you're your recliner and you're just chilling watching sports, and you're like, well, I'm here for my kid.
Yeah.
No, you're not. You're a shadow.
Yeah.
You're not. You could be better. That is the real job.
Right.
Not that job that's 9 to 5. I know it seems like on paper that's the real job, but the real job is how you perform for them.
That identity piece that you just shared, I think that's an important struggle that fathers struggle with. What kind of things, like identity-wise, do you remember what you were struggling with or no?
Yeah, I was given a brand new role. It's like if you start a job and you've have no experience or no training in it at all. So it's like, and you have a human life to keep alive.
Were there parts of you that you were like, man, this is over? Like it's no longer going to be a part of me?
Yeah, I had to I realized selfishly I had to let go of a lot of things like my wants and my needs, and if that sounds bad to the viewer, that sounds bad to the viewer.
No, but this is legit. This is what fathers go through. I had the same experience. So.
Yeah, and maybe it didn't help, particularly my age as well. I think I was also struggling with the fact that I might have mentioned just getting older. I wasn't this young man anymore either. Yes, I'm not 80 years old, but it was a conflict of my age. You want to call it a midlife crisis? Fucking knock yourself out on that one. But it was the combination of that, being in a new role, being a new person in all kinds of different ways. So it was it was a bit of a struggle.
Yeah.
Now you know, and I think I mentioned it was a struggle for me. All these new identities, almost like a kind of an imposter thing. What the hell am I doing here? Do I even know what I'm doing?
Yeah.
And now my life it's changing. It's a huge change. So becoming a father is maybe that's why I didn't eat up Father's Day. I'm I don't belong here.
Yeah.
I don't deserve this role. So and I think maybe paternal versus maternal, I know being there for your father, being present as father is so important. I mean, I also read statistically, when it comes to addiction and mental health treatment and addiction treatment, 75% of clients go into a program now I read it for fathers. It was 75% of clients that are in a program don't have a paternal presence. They didn't have a father figure growing up. I'm sure there's a study for moms as well, maternal, but I didn't read that. But that's a big number, 75%. Yeah. It's an overwhelming conflict of who I am today.
Parts of the identity stuff that I struggled with in my relationship, thanks for asking, was the communication between me and my wife changed. And I think that was really hard for me. Not only did my wife change just because she's going through a lot of hormones and self-esteem changes because, their body changes and then they got their worries about the child. And so the amount of attention you're giving to each other changes. And so those things really impacted me. We weren't having as much sex as we used to have. We weren't having as many date nights as we used to have. And so I almost felt like the absence of the intimacy between me and her.
Yeah.
And so that was hard for me at some point. And so having to realize that my role is bigger than that now, and there's ways to communicate about that too, right? Now we have to communicate about it, and we have to find a way to communicate about it because we are balancing not only ourselves, the relationship that we have, but then the we're parents now that we're balancing into the picture. And so I think that those things are common among fathers, that, those are the struggles of being a father.
I think that's a good like segue into like the point of this podcast is also like if you are struggling with that, see a mental health professional, because I think it's a big deal. People really struggle with it based on their upbringing and their relationship with their father. And what they're supposed to bring to the table. I don't know if I was ever taught how to be a father.
Yeah.
Because there was a bit of, like I said, there was an absence in my life. So
Yeah.
it was a struggle. It was a struggle.
It was rough.
With that, just knowing what I'm supposed to do.
It was a rough struggle.
Like a Harry Potter like comment. With is there anything else that you want to bring up about Father's Day?
There's so much, dude. I feel like we can make another episode about this. Maybe we'll drop another one. That's something. I'm just kidding. I love when I make plans on the show. You're just like, what are you talking about, Doug?
I wasn't tripping on that one. No, this was a very deep conversation, and like it could really, I could talk till I'm blue in the face.
Like DJ Khaled be up in here like another one, It was awesome.
Who's that?
DJ Khaled, dog. DJ Khaled.
You don't know DJ AM?
No, I don't know DJ AM.
Rest in peace.
You gotta educate me on that one.
Yeah. So.
But guys, thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel, please. Share the show. Let us know what your thoughts on this. Is Father's Day seen as a bad thing? Are dads over demonized? What'd you call it? Are they targeted right now?
Are they seen in a negative light?
They're seen in a negative light. What do you think? Is there this competition between Father's Day, Mother's Day that you notice? Or share with us, if you're a dad or even if you're a mom and you've gone through some challenges through that we didn't touch on, or that you related to. Let us know because we'd love to hear just your feedback on this stuff.
Right.
But yeah, thank you for watching.
So always checking on your friends, checking on your father. Happy Father's Day.